the internet. On today's show, we review the Apocalypse Diaries, Ain't That Life, plus the top 5 Bentleys, and part 2 of our exclusive Aidan 5 interview. Only on Tonight, Those Video Guys. Only on Tonight, Those Video Guys. Hello, the internet. On today's show, we review the Apocalypse
Hello, the internet. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John. This is Elisar, and
Hello.
making his much long-anticipated return to the show.
Yes, I'm back.
Sean, welcome back, Sean. Pleasure to see you. Well, that was scifi, the cool new app for your iPhone that Elisar has just taught me about.
I'm so glad I've got a BlackBerry.
Oh, you're missing out, Sean. You really
Yes,
are missing out.
I'm
It's
so
all about
missing out.
songify now. Everyone is going to be going. They'll have their ringtones on their phone now.
I'm sure they will.
Songify songs.
I'm only going to communicate via songify from now on, I think.
I hate to say this, but I'm actually now missing the ukulele.
Are you really? Well, that's coming back. That'll come back.
Yes.
So, as Songify will have told you, today on the show, we're reviewing, hopefully, the Apocalypse Diaries, unless
Yes.
we have another...
Power outage.
Indeed, and who can say what's causing that? We're going to be looking at Ain't That Life, quite an interesting web series. We've got a lot to say about that. Plus, our top 5 Bitleys of the week, of course, and part 2 of our exclusive interview with the creators and stars of Aidan 5.
Yeah.
So, it's a packed show. Let's jump right in. What are we going to look at first? Well, the Apocalypse Diaries.
Yes.
Eagle-eyed viewers of the show might have seen that we suffered somewhat of an apocalypse ourselves last week. We had a bizarre strobing effect, the power cut out, and a lot of people watching were quite concerned that maybe it was the end of the world as they knew it.
Yes.
But luckily this week we're back and we feel fine, and we are going to take a look at the apocalypsediaries.com with a trailer. Have we got a trailer for it?
Yes, indeed.
Let's check it out.
My name is Jen Cross. I live in Los Angeles. Something's happened here. I'm gonna find out who's doing this to us.
So we call for help. Look, you don't need to leave.
There's someone else out there.
No!
Oh my god. Sometimes at night I hear screaming. It's in the apartment.
The Apocalypse Diaries, though. We've all seen this.
Yeah.
Kind of a bizarre show.
I didn't really think it was that
bizarre.
bizarre. It's basically...
It's in the genre of the found footage where.
Yes. It's something like... Oh, God, what's that?
Which one was the Blair Witch? Probably.
Blair Witch. I was actually thinking about the one, the J.J. Abrams movie with the...
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Cloverfield
absolutely.
or something like that. And basically... This is the apocalypse has happened.
Well, it's
is
actually
that,
the
Or has
Hadron-
it?
The
Or
Hadron
has it
Collider.
happened?
yes.
Well, is that a spoiler, though, or do we find
No,
that
I
out?
don't-
No,
that's in their
that's
publicity, yeah.
that's
Okay.
actually when you go to the. It's never mentioned
It's not mentioned in the episodes.
in any of
so
the
far,
episodes itself so far. But when you actually go on their YouTube page, it actually states
It explains a bit of backstory
straight
then.
away. And there's this constant during this apocalypse. There's this constant like throb going on.
Yes.
Throughout
Like, the
it.
machine is still working.
Yeah, so, and it's actually quite that really gives it a very sinister feel to it. There's something quite ominous by this constant throb going on throughout
It's
it,
sort of pitched almost like a paranormal supernatural show.
Yeah.
Except it's scientific instead. So that throb, that white light is science.
Well, lads...
It's bad science at work as opposed
Yeah.
to what would have normally have been maybe the poltergeist.
Yeah.
This is all very interesting, but what I'm most interested in is, was it an entertaining show? Did you enjoy it, Sean?
I thought it was okay. The thing is, I've seen this so many times before. It was kind of well done. The episodes were short. There was a lot of episodes. There's about 11 episodes out
Yeah,
there so
10 or 11,
far.
I think, yeah.
There was 1 or 2 episodes out there which actually really didn't seem to advance the plot line. But, I mean, by the end of watching 11 episodes, I felt I wasn't any further in terms of the storyline than I was after the second episode.
No, fair point indeed. Elisar, did you have anything to add there?
I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, I like the idea of doing a found footage story because people are making movies as found footage, and I don't think those movies work anymore. I mean, we've had it. We've had the Blair Witch. We've had Cloverfield. We've had so many of them now, and like every filmmaker is trying to make another feature length because they all want to replicate Paranormal Activity's success.
Well, basically, it's they want to replicate Paranormal Activity's low budget to huge financial
But actually,
gain.
doing it as a video diary
That did seem like a new
Internet
idea to me.
is a new way of approaching
Yeah.
it, and actually
Yeah.
a more sensible way of approaching this particular genre, because actually it's the internet style that embraces this particular idea. Of
where
doing
I think it
video
really
diary.
comes into a problem, though, is you have the storyline, without giving any too many spoilers. You got this couple who are in their home, and the apocalypse has happened. And although an explanation is given, as we said, in the YouTube, on the actual description on the YouTube page, in the actual, if you watch the episode themselves, you literally all you know is as much as they know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something terrible has happened. They don't know what's going on. The guy leaves to try and find food, and the girl is
never comes back.
completely freaking out, understandably, in the situation. So far, so good. Then she's captured by what we think are government forces, and at that point, where does it go?
Well, where
Because
does
the
it
whole
go?
point
It
is
didn't really-
it's
I
a
guess
webcam.
This is what we've yet to find
Yeah.
out in any subsequent
Indeed,
episodes.
it was just let them see me, not that. I want to be on screen. Put me back on. There we go. I was going to say, it was just getting good, and then it seemed to have sort of finished or wound up. Are there more episodes in the pipeline?
I
do you
think
know?
they're planning to do more. Definitely. I mean,
Well, there's no absolute. I mean, if they leave it like that, then it's just kind of like you've got a beginning without a middle or an end.
Yeah.
So, I think you've had basically a setup. You've set up this particular character, claustrophobia. She's all alone. She has no idea what's going on in the outside world. These people who've taken her and a neighbour
I was
are the
actually
first people that she's actually seen.
So I mean, there's also this kind of like thing when after she's taken, as you're hearing the throb, there's these constant flashes, and there's actually you see this image of a guy there,
Just appears,
and you don't know. Well, he appears and disappears,
Yeah.
and you don't know whether it's something like a poltergeist or somebody from another dimension, or whether it's science related or a hallucination. But it'll be curious to see what. I mean, I was thinking, what other directions do you take this? One area I thought would be maybe for the next series to have footage from the government interrogation of this woman, or something like
Like
to keep it
CCTV
within that.
footage or
Yes,
something,
to
yeah.
keep it within that style.
Well, they had a.
Or you've got to then drop that style and just go back into proper narrative. Basically, they've told so much of the storyline, and I'm now kind of at this point. I need the storyline to advance and to evolve. And it
Absolutely.
hasn't.
I mean, assuming that the gimmick is that it's the end of the world, that there is an apocalypse, they've got a sort of a conceit on their website, a gimmick on the website, where I think it's legit. They want you to send in footage of your apocalypse experience.
Yes.
And there was a video on there from Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
Though I've got a feeling that might have been a plant from the makers of the website, which is fine if they've done that. But I think that might be an idea. They want people to send in their own explosions.
Yes, while we're waiting for new episodes, people get to send in their contribution.
Somebody has got to do a list somewhere of in sci-fi films and disaster films, which locations are the most destroyed locations, because the Sydney Opera House has got to be up there in the top 5.
It's got to be up there.
Of every time you see a disaster movie or an end of the world movie, the Sydney Opera House is just one of those places that goes up in flames.
Well, the intriguing thing is to actually find out where it does actually go, and are we going to be in a sort of almost like a Jericho style setup, where we try to discover what is left of humanity and what kind of law and order and government exists. Who is it have taken her? Why specifically her? Are they just taking everybody?
Well, I think we're going to find out.
Yeah,
presumably there's more episodes to come. We don't know, where we don't know.
Intrigued. I'm intrigued. It's a great setup, but these 11 episodes...
if I was
they're
to
a taster. They're a taster.
Just a setup, yes.
They're a taster.
It just seemed to me an awful lot of episodes to go through for just a setup. That was what I found very frustrating. I felt... you should really want the setup in the first episode.
And then you can move on to the meat of the story,
Yeah, it just felt like I went through 11 episodes of just setting it up.
They try to keep it very, very short, 90 second episode.
That I appreciate.
Just a 5-minute episode of a setup would have worked better.
Yeah. Absolutely. We should send in the ending of last week's show, I think. I'm sure they'll put that on the website, because I watched it back on YouTube. It was terrifying.
It is quite spooky.
I was worried for us. I thought we hadn't survived. But luckily we did, and we survived to do another show. Sean, you're back as well. It's great to have you. And that is our review of the Apocalypse Diaries. I think we're going to have to come back to that when there's some more episodes in the can.
It'd be interesting to see
because that's very much a teaser. I'll admit it's whetted my appetite. There's room for improvement, but I'm also curious to see where it goes next from here. So that is the Apocalypse Diaries, and you can watch it on YouTube or www.theapocalypsediaries.com. And now, it is time for... Well, we saw the first half last week, a very enlightening and enjoyable interview. And again, the stars of Aidan 5 have been very generous with their time. And we're going to show the second part of the exclusive Those Video Guys interview with Aidan 5.
Acting on a green screen is very challenging. It's probably... but ultimately, I think one of the most rewarding experiences that I've had. I mean, it forces you to use your imagination in new ways you've never used before. As far as minimalist theater goes, though, it's a very interesting comparison. I think it's similar, very similar, but with theater, you always know where you are. You're always oriented. You know where the audience is. You know that you have to exit stage left. You might only have like a ladder or a box or a phone to work with. But when you're on a green screen, you might still have that ladder and the box and the phone, but the audience is constantly moving, and you get very disoriented because we're the thing that moves. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
To you guys? Okay.
Yeah, no, it is incredibly disorienting because our cameras stay in one place, all the time, shooting against this one-sided green screen. Mm-hmm. So the world is constantly moving around, and it's disorienting for us just as much as it is, I think, for you guys. I would say.
I think the green screen is probably more challenging than minimalist theater, but it's a completely different animal.
Because it's combined. I've not done minimalist theater, but it's combined. I have done some stage acting, and when you're doing film, the size of the stage changes. When you're doing a wide shot, the stage is bigger, and when you're doing a close-up, the stage is only this big. So you have to not only take into account all the other things, but you have to do the normal acting for film things, which is tailor your performance down, where a small movement can mean a lot when it's a close-up, but it's going to get lost on a wide shot. So it's I found it very challenging myself. I learned a lot too.
Oh yeah.
We would get confused as directors, both Ben and I. I mean, it was really two directors on set, and we would get turned around and trying to tell them just simply where the door is. Walk right here through the door.
The whole thing would devolve into a 20-minute conversation about, no, where the door's over here, no.
And then on top of that, you add their characters and the fact that we're trying to shoot multiple episodes in one day. We're trying to shoot 3 episodes is what we set out to do. We ended up getting about 2.5 or really 2 done in a day. In about a 19-hour day, and at any given moment we could change on them based on something crazy, like, we have all of our extras are here now. Let's do the airport scene now, and then we'd have to tell these guys, hey, we're going to do the airport scene from episode 9, and they would take a few minutes, and then they would be ready, and they'd have to know where their character was emotionally and physically as well too, but they just did it time and time again. Which was really great. And I really think that's why it works. We really got lucky having 2 completely professional people who they said they didn't do a lot of green screen before, but you wouldn't have known it, and they rolled with it and they made it work. So it's as serious as how it gets.
They're amazing. They're amazing. We get this question a lot, actually, and the truth of the matter is we don't even really know. We can't. It usually takes, on average, we have so many different people working on it across so many different factors. They're all doing it in their spare time when they have a chance for free. And really, we've had people start and then had to drop out, for various personal reasons, and life gets in the way. I would say on average it takes, in an ideal situation, about 2 months to complete an episode in post-production, all the way through sound design and scoring. But we've had episodes that have taken 5 months. So.
And when you say ideal, meaning just the way we're working now, again being volunteered and everyone working when they can, I think we know there's a faster model, and obviously exploring that is if we're lucky enough to go forward with it. We
Yeah,
can
if
get
we
it
were-
down to the science.
Yeah, if we were all working on this full time, round the clock, we could get it done in a couple of weeks. But I think really the key is trying to get everybody marching at the same beat when everyone's in different locations. They're all working separately from each other, and they're doing it when they can. And anyone who's worked in the production world knows that it's very hard to find free time to work on these projects. But I think it's a testament to the commitment to everybody who's worked on it, is they've still pushed through the process and have still gotten it to a point where we could start releasing the series now. We hope that our situation improves a bit for seasons 2 and 3. We'll see. So if anyone out there is just sitting on a big pile of money and wants to see seasons 2 and 3, give me a call, email me, or Johnny, somebody out there.
Put the number down here.
Right on the screen.
614.
Well, I'd say that we definitely didn't have any time to do any actual reshoots. We did pickup days and pieces that we hadn't been able to get during principal photography, but I don't think we ever were able to go back and redo anything. We really, in essence, you're right. We live with what we have, with the resources that we had, but yeah.
But there's something about that to me, and watching the new episodes come out. There's part of that is the charm of watching it. Is going, oh boy, they cut away from that real fast because it didn't quite look right. But it reminds me that we didn't have any money. We were doing this on a shoestring, and I find that very endearing, seeing a finished episode and picking out the little things that go by so quick you don't notice them. But to me, it just reminds me of making the thing and remembering all those little challenges that we had faced. And it makes me feel even more proud of it sometimes.
One of the things too about shooting them all, like we shot them all together, in like a 6-month period before we really delved into post-production very, very deeply. So we had this sea of green footage, and only after the fact you start seeing it come together. How many times have we been like, oh, if we could only go back and maybe do this a little bit differently? But I think that's again part of the I guess the charm of working like this is that it's you make your decision, you stick with it, and then you make it work, with what you have.
In shooting green screen like this, there is a freedom to redirect in post. That's certainly one of the great draws of it. It's like, well, wait a minute, let's move him over to the left, let's move her to the right, let's, you know what? They're not in a sewer. They're in a fancy hotel.
And that actually happened. Yes.
So that was kind of freeing in that way, really. But it is good. I would still personally prefer to always just be ready to come and shoot it the way I envision it the first time. I don't think I'd like to do too much noodling after the fact. I don't know, that's just me, I think we both kind of had sort of an idea when we would attack an episode that, no, this is what we're doing, and just selling out that way. I like it. I miss it when I see the episodes. Again, we're still making this season's episodes. I see it and I laugh and enjoy some of it, but man, I'd kill for a cabin and a little old lady and a dog and just to make a story with a camera and just sit and use natural light or something.
Now you brought up this cabin and the old lady and the dog. What story do you see this envisioning? Give us a preview here of what this.
I don't know, and I think I really don't care. I think it's just because I think I can. There's a wealth of old ladies around and cabins and dogs. I don't know.
And if not, with the right makeup, I can be a good dog. She can be a nice old lady.
Thank you for not making me the dog.
I think the one thing I can say, and that's probably for all of us, being storytellers, it's what does that story require? So the next thing I do, it probably won't require all green screen and drawings and all that. It's just what does that story ask?
Maya and I actually appeared in something else. It was another 48-hour project, and then I participated in the 48-hour film project in the subsequent year after that as well as part of the team. And I've done some other shorts around town, and I'm currently working on another web series behind the camera this time as a writer.
I've been fortunate enough to work on a number of different independent projects since then. I have a larger project coming out in the fall.
Which is
The Ides of March. It's a major motion picture with George Clooney, and I had a small role in.
You saw it here first.
I had a small role in that film, and it was fantastic. But yeah, I really hope that I get to work with you guys again because I like you.
We like you too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, right now Johnny and I are working on writing seasons 2 and 3, which we'll hopefully get to shoot. But I have a slate of other personal projects on the side that I'm also working on. I have a couple of feature films, some shorts that I'm producing, and potential for another series.
I was working on a film called The Ides of March. Apparently, excuse me, it's already been made. I didn't have George Clooney in it. I was going to have Brian. But it shows, I have just short-sightedness on my part. Boy, I want to see if we. I want to see how the first season of Aidan 5 goes, and then I'm going to start looking at that little old lady in that cabin. Actually, I hope to work with these guys again. I hope we get to do seasons 2 and 3. That's first and foremost, really, where my heart is, to try to see that finished. And then I think I have a kids thing in mind that I'd like to do. Being a father of 3, I'd like to do something that my kids may watch or participate in. So I think I'm working on, I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm working on kind of a Goonies type of thing. Don't tell anybody, because I think a lot of people are going to jump on it. But yeah, I'd really like to do something just with some adventure and some fun for kids. So yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Well, thank you, those video guys, for having us on very much.
Yes, thanks for all support.
If we had champagne glasses, we'd clink them.
I have champagne glasses and champagne.
We should get them.
I will get them right now.
We should get them.
We should pause.
Oh, great stuff. Thank you very much, guys. And indeed, don't forget, check them out, www.aidan5.com.
I mean, I've got to personally say, I don't know about you guys, but out of all the shows we've looked at so far, that's actually one of my favourite ones.
It's definitely
Aidan
up there
5.
at the top. It's just so unique. That's the thing. It's completely unique.
But it really, and
out there like it.
I think anybody who's doing shows for the internet, they've got to check that one out, simply because that just shows you what can be achieved.
Yeah, totally original idea, great concept, great artwork.
Well, actually, what I'd like to do, just as an idea, is there's a lot of shows we reviewed over the past how many weeks, and but we've reviewed them on the first so many episodes, and it'd be nice to go back to some of them, and especially one like Aidan 5, which we reviewed when it only. I mean, what was it? We saw the first episode, and we were given a preview. Only the first one was out there. We were given a preview of 2 more of them.
That's right, yeah.
And now, the series is out there. It might be just go back there and just see, review some of these shows.
Sean, that's a fine idea. And in fact, we were going to suggest something similar, because myself and Elisar went to a sci-fi convention this week. And I
couldn't go to it. I'm barred from that one.
I know. There was a little picture of you behind the camera that just said, "Do not let this man in."
I could believe that.
It said... But anyway, when we were there, we caught up with the makers of Blood and Bone China,
another great show,
and Mind's Eye as well, which is so both two more great series that we looked at very early on, and they've both gone on to bigger and better things since being on our show. Coincidence? Who can say? Who can say?
And we did record interviews with both of them.
We did actually, yeah. So it'd be great to get them.
So that actually be perfect for us to actually look at.
So we'll have a bit of a
Bone
recap
China
show, and
Mind's Eye. Some interviews from it.
And Mind's Eye particularly exciting. So they've got a season 2 coming up soon, and they were saying, well, there's 1 or 2 big names attached to the project now, so we can't give too much away.
Well, but I mean, I think they've announced it. I think.
Well, have a look at the website. Anyway, look out for Mind's Eye.
It's the child from Walking Dead is in it.
Oh,
are we allowed to say that? Okay, well there was.
I love The Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, it's a big deal.
It was my favourite show until Game of Thrones came along.
Yeah, well, it's a big show, and apparently that just that kid's name attached to the show has brought quite a lot of attention.
We've had Jonathan Woodward attached to this show.
And did that bring any attention to our show?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about that. But thank you, Jonathan, if you're watching, by the way. Much appreciated. Let's move on now to the top 5 Bitleys, the most tweeted and
My
retweeted.
favourite point. I've so missed this. The top 5 Bitleys, and then I find this crap in my inbox for the number 1. I mean,
who is actually retweeting this stuff? That's what I want to know.
Watch this. Watch number 5. Watch this.
For 3.5 minutes.
I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to swear on this show, but what the fuck?
We're not allowed
seriously?
to swear. We're not allowed to swear.
Okay, well,
we're going to get kicked off YouTube.
Bleep that out.
Explain exactly what the origin is, because I didn't understand it. It's just it's a 8-bit cat flying through space with a rainbow.
As this tune that goes on. I was so
Nyan Cat is called.
disturbed by this. I checked. It's a tune from Pokemon, and there's thousands and thousands of videos of these teenage anime fans, these girls in their little school uniforms, doing these movements in time to this repetitive, inane music, and it's probably only watched by paedophiles. Oh my!
I like the music. The cat, I could take
3.5 minutes of it. It's like
3.5. I had it on a loop for half an hour. I loved it. But
that explains a few things.
So. I'm sure it does. What was number 4 on the video then? Dear Shane.
What's this about? What was this about? It was like my brain was melting at this point. Is this like the Japanese Justin Bieber or something?
I don't know.
Who is retweeting this stuff?
Somebody's retweeting it.
Sad Japanese people or paedophiles. I have no idea.
But I don't know.
I give up.
We've had some comments in the chat room.
Have we?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Okay, we've had Rob Paget says he recommends that we re-review Vampire Zombie Werewolf.
Yeah, we should have another look at that.
Well, if it's not positive.
Well,
I'm sorry. I will review anything, but I have to be honest in my review.
Sean,
I'm happy to be positive.
To review it because it was pre-Sean when we did Vampire Zombie Werewolf, and it was I think in our first or second.
Yeah, it was very early on. We'll have a look at it.
So definitely, I think we need to relook at that one again. John S. Derry saying, "What is this about?" Well, John S. Derry, we are a live stream about reviewing. What's the best stuff that we find on the internet?
Maybe he tuned in trying to find Talking Who. Or maybe he was after Talking Alf.
Maybe he was after Talking Alf. He wants to know how we got to do a live broadcast and our viewing figures are somewhat questionable. Well,
46,000, I don't know.
Let's just say...
quite a lot.
Let's just say, yeah, that's over like 16 years.
Well, look, we're reviewing YouTube videos. Videos on YouTube. We're the only show that reviews is doing that. So,
let's just say it...
Why not?
It ain't what you know, it's who you know.
Is it?
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
John S. Derry, you want to know why we get to do live broadcasts? And John S. Derry, I want to know why you can't get yourself a life.
Hey, come on. Sean, he's a good guy.
He's a troll.
He's not, he's a lovely human.
He can't even turn off the caps key.
X-Redders says there's actually a Nyan TARDIS as well. Perhaps we need to get the Nyan TARDIS onto Talking Who. Okay, so number 3.
Number 3 on the vids. It is bikers. Oh, this was.
This was actually. No, I like this.
Bikers charged by a moose. Oh no, they really were charged.
They were charged by a moose, yes, and then they're terrified. The next few minutes is them cowering in bushes, in fear of the moose.
Are we going to see the moose again?
No,
yeah, you do see the moose again.
You can see the moose there. So
did you watch this?
Yeah, I did. But
what's great is that the two guys there in the foreground now are going to run back.
Yeah, they're terrified.
Behind the guy with the camera. You've got the camera. Somehow you're tougher than we are. So anyway, there we go. That was quite amusing. It's one of those real life YouTube moments.
I'd like to have seen them really get charged by a moose.
It's just the guy is obviously cycling with his camera.
Yeah, but if they'd been really charged by a moose, that wouldn't have made YouTube. It would have made Sky One.
Well, that's true.
He would have dropped his camera and just run off.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think he's got a helmet cam. I don't think he could have dropped because it looks like he's riding a bicycle.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's a helmet cam he's got.
Video number 2. Let's have a look at this. Penguins.
This was funny.
It was kind of fun.
This is that cute animals thing that people love.
Penguins. It's for about 2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes
trying to get on this ice cube
and
failing. They keep falling and knocking each other off. And then when one of them does get on,
he jumps off.
He jumps off because he's so worried the others haven't joined him that he has to go back into the water.
Watching this, actually, it reminded me of watching my mum try and play a video game. of something that looks quite easy to do, and you just get very frustrated watching them do it, and they can't quite get it sussed. But that was number 2 on the Bitleys. Penguins jumping up and down. Number 1, a clean.
Oh, this is brilliant.
I'm sure this is your favourite number 1 as well.
Yeah, this number 1
liked
is great.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
But actually, this is perfect Japanese because it's basically Japan's 2 favourite pastimes: new technology and cats.
Those Hoovers have been around for a while.
My cat would never, ever sit patiently bumping into things.
I say that my cat's one of them's passed away, but he was 18 and she's 18 now, and now they just look at it bored. But about 2 or 3 years ago, they both would have attacked it.
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Even with the noise.
The noise, they may have run away because of the noise, but they're moving around.
Very patient, and the great thing about it is, watch it right through to the end because the robot goes under a chair
and knocks the cat off.
Fit the cat and the chair up.
And the poor old cat.
Robot,
I like just
the
the other
cat
random cats just kind of watching the...
There's a lot of cats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats in this house.
I think they were just watching thinking, what does this mean now for us, now that we haven't got wheels and this one has? Is he our leader? I don't know. That was number 1, the video cleaning robot and cat in the Bitleys top 5. Okay, let's review our second web series of the week. It's called Ain't That Life. You can watch it at ain'tthatlife.com. Have we got a trailer for it?
We do.
I think we do.
Let's start with that.
My name is Harold Bregman. I'm in therapy. First I lost my job. You're fired. Then the police questioned me because my girlfriend disappeared after I found her in bed with the cleaning woman.
It's so tough to keep good help.
You poor inadequate man. Is that why you killed her?
Harold, have you tried Viagra?
Oh? From the commercials, I always thought it helped with your dancing.
Hi. I'm Mandy. I'm a shopping addict and a nymphomaniac.
I've always thought those were admirable qualities in a woman.
Harold Bregman. He's coming your way. Follow him, rookie. Every move he makes, every step.
They look like they've got season tickets.
And they'll pay extra for a threesome.
I just put it on their credit cards.
Be honest. Wouldn't you want to kill her? Tails, I shoot her.
Tell me you didn't actually murder her.
Time's up. We'll pick up at the same place next week.
Ain't that life?
What?
Just before we go on to this, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know what the hell it is, but if you switch the Cosmic Panda layout, apparently you can't see the live feed. So switch back to the original thing.
If they're on the Cosmic Panda and they can't get the live feed, they can't hear you telling you to change.
Well, maybe they've gone back to Ustream out of frustration. But if you want to watch it on YouTube, you can. Just stay away from Cosmic Panda, whatever that means. Guys, web series review. Ain't That Life? That was the trailer for it.
Yeah.
Basically, one man's daily quest to find love, happiness, success, and, most interestingly, exoneration from the charge that he might have murdered his missing girlfriend. What do we make of that?
Well, I don't know what you guys thought about it. It was very competently made, but it really just didn't kind of grab my attention. I was very meh about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We got to watch 3 episodes. Only one episode's been released so far.
It is.
It's
very
told,
early days.
It's told through. He's speaking to his psychiatrist. He's just been fired. Every crap thing possible has happened to him. He's been fired from his job. He's discovered that his wife is having an affair with the cleaning lady.
And of course, she says that any other guy would jump in, but he gets really upset about this.
And any other guy probably would have jumped in.
Well, we have a quote from Joseph Emile, who wrote, produced, and directed Ain't That Life. It says, "Ain't That Life celebrates the passionate irrationality of our enduring hope for a happy life and meaningful relationships amid a world of self-absorbed, self-centered people."
Yeah, and I think we're only just getting to the start of that in what we've seen so far in those first 3 episodes, because at the moment we're just seeing all this bad stuff that's been happening.
I mean, some of it just seemed a bit too contrived and over the top. Like when he's fired, his manager goes, "You don't get any severance. You don't. You just."
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was quite funny. I won't say it was very funny. I thought it was quite funny. I did like the girl who appears to be a potential love interest.
Oh, the nymphomaniac
shoplifter who also goes to the same psychiatrist as him.
Yeah.
And you can see that there's probably something developing there, but it's still quite early days, but these weren't necessarily short episodes either. With like 7, 8.
Well, the first one was 7 or 8 minutes, but the next 2 ones were only about 2 or 3 minutes long each.
Yeah, and if you
by
think
the
of
time
that-
you put the opening credits and the recap in there,
absolutely,
they're actually quite quick. I mean, to some extent, they did with the first episode what I felt the Apocalypse Diaries should have done:
Over
is
11 episodes,
get your setup done in one big chunk, and then. I mean, that's one thing it did, which the Apocalypse Diaries did. I did get the feeling within the second and third episode they were moving the story forward. So, as you said, there's this girl, he may be having a relationship with her. I get the impression if I stick with it, something it may go in different directions, but something is going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was watching the Apocalypse Diaries, I was feeling if I kept on watching it,
I suppose
was anything going to
Yeah,
happen?
this is one of those series you kind of think, then does the format of doing short episodes for web series work in its favour? Or does it need the traditional 22-minute episode American...
This is the kind of thing which actually probably would benefit from 22 minutes,
episode.
yes.
Yeah, no, I agree as well.
Well, I'm excited by it. Granted, the first episode wasn't perfect. There's a lot, to get better, but I'm excited. I think it's a good...
I like the acting.
well acted.
Yeah,
really
very
original or interesting
as
premise.
Sean mentioned, it is well shot. It is.
I mean, I just felt it was very well produced.
Very slickly produced.
It didn't look, it looked extremely professional. It's well directed, well shot, well acted. It was just in terms of the plot line and the humour itself.
Sure, but just think
it just wasn't really my cut, and I just felt I'd seen better out there.
Maybe, but just think of
net.
that as like a pilot episode.
Yeah.
And then, once it hits the season proper, I think it might pick up. And there's a lot of places for it to go. And indeed, further from that, Joseph Emile, who wrote it, said he was captivated by the idea of creating an online series offering a fresh approach that combined comedy and mystery in an original, amusing manner with a lot of twists and turns. So I think there's a lot of things.
I think part of the mystery is coming, although I don't know whether she actually has been killed, yes or not. But basically, there's been this debate over the past 3 episodes about whether he has killed his wife or not, whether his girlfriend, or whether she is dead or not.
I think it's really interesting. Actually, I'm quite gripped by this one. It's on at AidThatLife.com. Again, I don't want to talk about it too much, just because
we got a preview.
Exactly.
So
the general public have only got 1 episode to go on.
Exactly.
So maybe we can add this to ones that we're going to revisit in the future. But for now, I'm certainly going to say it's one to stick with. AidThatLife.com. AidThatLife. Check it out. Let's head back to the chat room real quick and see what's going on.
So what people are saying in there. It doesn't look like much more.
Our number 1 Bitly was very popular. SP Wright says Kitty Roomba is now my favourite video. Elizabeth Oriana agrees, says that was very cute.
So a lot of cat fans in the chat room.
Who isn't a cat fan?
Who isn't a cat fan, indeed? Well, we had the Pug top 5 last week, Sean. I was appalled by that. I didn't like that at all.
Evil World of Higlet says, I hope we do review Vampire Zombie Werewolf again.
I think we'll give it another look.
Well, actually, Evil World of Higlet is also a producer of a web series.
Yeah.
Which I think we will review it next week.
What's the web series?
Mind My Brains, Darling, and it's set in 1979 Britain after a zombie holocaust.
Oh,
really?
And it's sort of it's a British sitcom in that sort of old classic 60s 70s sitcom.
That should be interesting.
Good. And any other comments you want to add to that as well, or just
what else do we have? I think we had lots of cat comments.
Unbelievable. Not surprising, of course. Yeah. Good.
Sean,
well,
perhaps you could do a top 5 cats next week.
Maybe a top 5 cats flushing a toilet video. Maybe. There's a lot out there. There are a lot out there, guys. Well, let's move on. We've got about 5 minutes left of the show. Let's talk about some of the issues of the day in terms of the world of the internet, because we're an internet-based show. We don't just look at web videos.
And we played with the Songify.
And this will actually be the only place you can find in England at the moment where we're talking about anything but phone hacking.
Indeed, absolutely. So the big news on the internet this week that you might have heard about, and certainly if you're very important like Elisar, and apparently not me, you will have been invited to already. Google Plus. Is it a rival for Facebook? Will it be a flash in the pan? Is it the new MySpace? Is it the next Bebo? What is Google Plus?
I quite like it so far.
I haven't even looked at it yet.
Well, I'll send you the invite then, because you obviously haven't been
Do you have to be invited?
You have to be invited, yeah. No wonder.
Just sign up. It's because it's only since beta taste.
Oh, right.
They don't want just anyone. They don't want just anyone. They don't want the likes of me on there.
It's an exclusive club.
Yeah, well, an exclusive club, but they want everyone on the planet to join.
If you make it invite only, you ain't going to get 75 million users like Facebook's got.
Like I said, they've only just launched it, so I think they're just testing it
Well,
out. So I think they want to wait to see what people's feedback will be.
You just pulled it up just before the show started, and it looked exactly like Facebook to us when we just had a quick look at the front page.
It looked no different to Facebook,
Yeah.
apart from you could stick everybody into family and acquaintances and...
Rob Paget says Higlet is the only reason I have Google Plus. So Rob obviously was invited by
Higlet, and apparently she can get us invites as well. So,
Higlet,
but now we just
you didn't invite me, so you're dead to me.
They're
now.
offering Higlet is offering us invites, so we appreciate that. And
is there no like an illegal trade in invites?
Yeah,
you haven't got one. I got an invite right here.
Rob, very nice. Rob Paget now is saying now he's got to figure out what the hell to do with it, and that's an interesting thing because Elisar, you were saying that one of the functions that it does have is the ability to do a sort of multi-Skype type video conference chat.
Well, I was hoping that we could maybe test it out and see whether we could use the Google Plus Hangout as a way of doing video calls on the show. So I don't know if it will work or not. So we could, but if after the end of the show today, if some of you who do have Google Plus want to just hang out after, keep watching. We'll maybe just test it out and see if Google Plus can actually work as doing video calls.
Have we got any friends then on Google Plus? Are you signed up as you or as those video guys?
I'm signed up as those video guys.
And have we got people following us or
We've
friends
got
with
some
us?
people following us, yeah. So add us to some circles now if you're on it, and then at the end of the show, stay on and we'll try and we'll do a test out for anyone who's on it now.
My thoughts are that I don't think it's better enough than Facebook to get.
Apparently, you can only have 10 people.
Well, that's not bad. That's
all right.
not bad to start with.
That's
It's only a test. We just want to see if it works or not.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, at the moment, everyone is on Facebook. You know, my mum is on Facebook, and I can't see her, moving over to Google Plus because it's got circles or groups or whatever. I can't see that happening.
But then again, I remember about 3 years ago, every one of my friends was on MySpace. Everybody was on MySpace.
Yeah.
And then within the space of literally about 3 or 4 months, we all ditched
No,
MySpace.
absolutely, that is true. And indeed, Facebook, MySpace was certainly left for dead.
I actually went in there last year and checked my MySpace account, which I hadn't looked at in a year, and deleted it.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes.
I think mine's probably still out there somewhere in cyberspace.
Did you see that Doctor Who is coming to Facebook? The BBC are going to start doing pay-per-view Doctor Who episodes on Facebook.
Pay-per-view Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah.
Haven't we already paid?
Classic episodes,
haven't we already paid for it in our license fee?
Well, I think it's for the rest of the world, really.
Right.
Who's going to take advantage of that?
Some other news on the internet. Julia Nunes, who I've mentioned one or two times, you might remember her being a very skilled ukulele player and singer-songwriter, who started as a sort of YouTube sensation in her own bedroom.
Yeah.
Recently said, okay guys, I'm going to make the plunge, I'm going to make an album, a CD for myself. What I need though is the money up front so I can hire, recording time and studio time.
So you gave her the money?
I haven't donated yet, but within 2 days she'd raised over $70,000 from YouTube viewers.
On Kickstarter.
I need some money.
Yeah.
We need. I have no idea why, but us video guys, we need some money. So please send us in
just PayPal,
money.
PayPal.
I mean, Indiegogo and Kickstarter are the two websites that people use for raising money for these kinds of projects.
She used Kickstarter, and apparently she's the most successful campaign they've ever had. She's
Really?
more than made the money, yeah,
That's
and
interesting,
doing
yeah.
really well. Which means I don't have to donate yet, but I will, I think, buy the music when it comes out. So yeah. Any other news or views?
Lots of people just saying that they've got Google Plus and they're now offering invites and will add us.
But we're all nerds, though. Every single one of us, including all the people watching, are nerds. Like I'm trying to say, my dad was on MySpace.
We have different passions.
Okay,
as
we
nerds.
do. What I mean it. But do you think it will?
Cronenbach 1, back to Aidan 5. Thanks for supporting Aidan 5 and helping to put Columbus, Ohio on the map. I've worked with the cast in other projects. They're great talents. They deserve props. It's great to have international attention.
Great. Well, it's good to have you guys on the show. Thank you so much for your time as well. Talking of top interviews,
Here we are, Vampire Mob. Sorry, we lost $6,212 on Kickstarter, but raised $10,000 on Indiegogo.
Really? How do you lose?
How
money
do you
on
lose that
Kickstarter?
much money on Kickstarter? How does it work?
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Actually, I thought it was. Maybe we better not.
I don't even have $6,000 to lose.
Yeah, we'll be owing them money by the end of the week. This doesn't sound good
I don't
at all.
know. That sounds. I'd be very interested to find more about that Vampire Mob and exactly how do you actually lose money on Kickstarter? Do they penalise you for not
if
raising
you don't raise
your
enough?
target or
Yeah, I
something?
don't know. That doesn't sound good at all, does it? But, well, nonetheless, we wish Julia Nunes good luck with that, and look forward to seeing what she's able to produce from it.
I'm just going to see if we can refocus.
Yeah, I think it might be because the light outside is changing. But, not on Indiegogo. Sorry, they didn't raise the $10,000 on Indiegogo. I think they meant independently they raised that money.
Yeah.
But, well, I think I'm okay. I think whenever we move, it changes the lighting. But we're nearly done anyway. One other thing, thank you to Aidan 5 for your interview. Guys, as we were saying, we had interviews. We got some interviews this week with the creators of Mind's Eye and Blood and Bone China. But
we also did
bigger than that.
Yes.
We got a very special interview that we're going to be showing you in about a month's time, I think, with none other than Brent Spiner.
Old Yellow Eyes himself.
Data from Star Trek.
And Fresh Hell, the web series.
And Fresh Hell, of course.
A web series that we all loved, I think.
I really did like it, yeah. I thought it was great.
Got cheers from us all.
Probably one of our longest interviews that we've done so far.
Yeah, he was such a great guy. He let us speak to him for about an hour.
I think it'll probably end up being a whole episode in itself.
I think it might be. It'll be a Brent Spiner special. And fun guy, really nice guy. Then we met him on the Sunday at the convention. He was very nice to us then as well.
Yeah, he said hello to us there.
Yeah, and that's big news, I think, for the show. Yeah. Brent Spiner. What do the chat rooms say about that? Have a quick look. That ought to have set the chat room on fire. Yeah, wow.
Elizabeth Oriana, wow.
Indeed, you better say wow.
Spidfid's just arrived.
Who's Spidfid?
Spidfid arrived late today. We'll catch up on demand later. And Elizabeth Oriana has given us another wow with 4
Absolutely. We'll put that on Twitter soon, because we kept that pretty quiet because we
didn't want to jinx it, did we?
We didn't want to jinx it, yeah. But holy moly, says the world of Higlet. So yeah.
John S. Derry is also on Google Plus, and you can use it on iPhones like FaceTime.
I see. And Matthew Barrett has said that he'll invite me to Google Plus if I do an episode of Talking Alf, which I am going to do an episode at some point. In the near future, I think I will do one episode.
Cronenbeck, thanks for mentioning my comment on the show. I love you guys. Cheers.
Well, we love you as well.
Evil
Thank
World
you.
of Higlet says Fresh Hell is very funny.
It is very funny. And Brent Spiner himself was a funny guy as well. He was a fun, interesting person, unlike other people that we've had on the show that I won't name.
Okay, so Vampire Mob's given us some comments about his campaign. Evil World of Higlet says if you don't raise all the amount within the time you get nothing.
Oh, so who gets that money?
Does that mean they keep the money, or does it go back to the...
Vampire Mob says if you don't hit your goal, you lost your money on Kickstarter.
Okay. So what happens to that money? To Kickstarter to keep it, or does it go back to the donators?
I assume it goes back to the I assume it goes back to the donators, because I think it's more like you're pledging money rather than paying money. I think.
Right.
But we need to look into this. It might be a nice way of a nice little earner for those video guys.
Yes. But, I think we need some money.
In fact, there it is. Vampire Mob has just confirmed it is a pledge system. Right. No one gets the money.
Right.
And
so I guess they hold the money in escrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you did like PayPal, the money would be...
So if you want to send us some money however way you want, because I want to fund my trip to Amsterdam next month.
Any way you like. Just send money via...
CASH. Checks.
Send cash. Send checks to cash. Yeah.
Cash is good.
Just, those video guys, East Finchley, London. It'll get there. It'll get there. Just send the cash, in fact. Don't send checks made out of cash. Send the cash.
Our Cronenbeck one says, Blood and Bone China is brilliant. I can't wait for more episodes.
It is brilliant. And they've just... Were they just filming or just about to film the final episode when we met up with Chris?
They were doing the last bit of filming for the final episode.
And what an epic production that looked like. I mean, they had a big widescreen TV up showing the DVD of the first few episodes.
Well, again, like Aidan 5, it's unique. I mean, I can't even think of another sort of period,
web series.
World of Higlet's Mind My Brain's Darling is set in the 1970s. But Blood and Bone China is set in Victorian times. I mean, that's not just your locations, it's your costumes, your makeup, and everything has to be done.
No, indeed, there's nothing like it.
And they did it on a budget of almost nothing. So
no, they were at the London Film Convention. They were getting a lot of attention that weekend. And I hope it was a good weekend for them. I hope they managed to get something out of that. Whether it's a distribution deal or just more viewers or people buying T-shirts or CDs or whatever they want to sell.
John S. Derry says we should be selling the books behind us.
We'd love to, but it's one book. It's a green screen. It is. It's all technology.
It's a green screen, but it's this new 4D system of green screen in which you can actually pick up the book.
Elisar, you're ruining the magical illusion there, but
it goes straight back into the green screen. It's amazing. I don't know how they do it.
It's phenomenal, but
it's like a holographic system.
They're also
Brent Spiner lent it to us. He said they used to use it on the Enterprise.
Oh. cheapened it all with a Star Trek. You know, we spoke for about an hour, and I don't think we mentioned Star Trek more than once.
I think you mentioned it first.
He probably mentioned it more than us, yeah. But it was nice. Did we see the story about Colin Hanks using Kickstarter to raise money for his Tower Records documentary that he's trying to make? No, we didn't. Oh, I didn't see that story.
That's from Matthew Barracks. No,
Yeah.
I don't know about that story. That's interesting. I mean, there's so many producers now on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and some of them are actually raising their budget. And Vampire Mob's now making their second series because they did a successful Indiegogo campaign.
Really? Okay, cool.
You know.
So it's a great way of raising money. If you've got an idea, and a bit of a following, then it's a good way to get some money and get some money.
Thank you for subscribing, John S. Derry.
Yeah, thank you. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much all we've got time for. We enjoyed the Songify app at the beginning.
No,
of the...
you guys enjoyed the Songify
I did enjoy it. I'm going to make a whole range of songs for next week.
Oh joy, I
indeed.
cannot wait.
Well, it'll be just the two of us. I'll have to record just the two of us.
Okay.
It'll be just the two of us because Elisar, I believe you're off on a second honeymoon of sorts.
I'm off next week, yes.
On your summer holiday to Turkey. So have a lovely time.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We've got a couple of shows. We'll talk about them next week. But in the meantime, we're all on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter. And indeed, follow us at Those Video Guys if you want to find out what Those Video Guys are doing on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube, Those Video Guys TV. And I can't remember what the poodle one is, but...
Poodle?
What is that thing in the bottom right-hand corner?
It's an atlas. It's the world.
It's the world, apparently.
World.
I can only see a dog, but...
What does that refer to?
What does it
that?
represent?
The web.
The web.
World Wide Web.
Yeah,
Well, that's
our
our
web address.
ThoseVideoGuys.tv.
Yes.
Anyway, click and follow and like and subscribe to all those lovely things. We'll be back at the same time next week, but for myself, John, from Elisar, from Sean, until next week, we have been Those Video Guys. Goodbye.
We're going to play you out a trailer for a new series.
Oh, superhero series, isn't it?
Coming in September. It's our new preview, and it's called Duo of Justice.
But from us, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
I never knew what the address was for it.
Okay, for those who are hanging on a bit, we're going to try doing a test.
What? We're still on air?
We're going to do
No,
a test.
it's still on air, but I'm rubbing my eye out.
On this Google Plus, see if we can actually get a video conference on screen.
My God, Google Plus. I look at that and I just say Facebook. They copied the entire design.
If we can actually get this to work on screen, this will be amazing.
Take care, spike your hair.
I've never heard that one before.
Well, you're going to hear it a lot more.
Is that a phrase from the 80s?
No, it's a phrase from Zack Ryder, a wrestler, who has become very famous by making his own videos on YouTube. Actually, we should talk about him at some point. He's a talented guy, but
are there many wrestlers on YouTube?
There's a few, but this guy, he's quite talented, but he's very young, and they haven't, for whatever reason, the actual powers that be don't put him on TV very much and don't really do much with him. And he hadn't been on TV for 3 or 4 months, and he started making his own weekly YouTube show that was quite funny. He got like a flip cam for Christmas and like an editor, and just made like a 3-minute comedy sketch each week, and it's getting more views on YouTube than their official videos are getting. They've had no choice but to kind of start putting them on TV and stuff. So
who's your favourite wrestler?
At the moment, I hate wrestling. Actually, I've really got off it. Yeah,
after going all the way to WrestleMania.
I think that was my my swan song, my farewell. Right. So I don't know,
because I used to be a big fan of Santos.
Really, a Mexican
wrestler, yes.
Well, they were
because he would fight against Dracula,
and
the werewolf, and people like that.
They had, I think the Mexican wrestling was at the Roundhouse or something quite recently.
There was actually last year I was in Forbidden Planet and I saw a flyer, And it was obviously not them, it was their kid. Because having their children taken their names.
Yeah,
and it was Santos and the Blue Demon. I was like, oh my god, I used to be huge fans of them. I want to go see it. And it was the same weekend I was running a convention.
Oh,
so
no,
I
it's a shame.
couldn't go see Santos and the Blue Demon.
It was pretty good. It was at the Camden Roundhouse. It was a fun night, actually. Until Justin Lee Collins came out to do a skit for his new Sky One series or something, where he had to learn to become a Mexican wrestler.
Oh god, that guy's to say something. I
we're
realised
still
that we're still on air, and I'm wondering if that's the kind of thing that could lose us our YouTube status.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I'll never forget when Justin Lee Collins did this show, I'm bringing back Star Trek. For the first time they were uniting the Star Trek cast. And he didn't get Shatner, he didn't get Nimoy, James Doohan was dead, DeForest Kelly was dead, so he just had Nichelle Nichols, Chekhov, what's his name, Walter Koenig, George Takei, and that was it. And he says, for the first time we've brought the cast of Star Trek together, and I'm going,
not
so
really.
every other month they've got a convention with more people than you've got there.
They did the same with Grange Hill, actually.
Oh my god, does anybody care about Grange Hill?
Oh, I do. I've watched all. Well, I've watched the first 27
I used to believe for a long while that that Mark Fowler and Tucker were the same character. I didn't realise it was just the same actor. I believed that they had taken his character from Grange Hill and put him into EastEnders.
It's weird you should say that, because I couldn't see the resemblance between the two. I was thinking, you sure they're the same person? It doesn't look anything like him, but I mean, I never really watched EastEnders. But,
oh, it's an awesome show. I think we should do Talking EastEnders.
Well, you can do that. I'll do Talking Coronation Street. Oh, hello. We got someone.
That's somebody.
World of Piglet. I don't know.
Is that Rebecca Brooks?
It's World of Piglet. Hey, we can hear you.
Oh, wow,
Elisar, maybe you need to turn our camera on. We can see you. Don't go anywhere, please.
Well, actually, our camera doesn't necessarily matter because they can watch us on YouTube.
But it would be nice. It would be nice for Higlet.
So the question is, if we did now this.
Should we close Wirecast?
If we did desktop.
Mrs. Higlet, please don't go anywhere. We're having a few technical issues, but
we're
we don't
always having technical issues.
But but that's what happens when you're pioneers of a new technology. Just have some tea. Stay calm. Don't panic. Drink tea.
No, we don't want that. So if we go to that,
is that fine china? I mean the cup, is that a china cup? Good stuff.
If I did that and close that down. Okay, if you look on YouTube now, do you see the hangout on YouTube?
I'm not on YouTube. Hang on, I just went straight to Google.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it is. It is actually. No. Although they still can't see us.
They can't see us.
Can they see me now?
Yeah. You're on YouTube. Congratulations.
You've made it onto YouTube.
Now we've got like a perpetual thing. It's going smaller.
It is. It's a bizarre Orwellian vision of the future, I think. And Robert Minucci, Minicucci is here as well.
That's so weird. Now, I'm watching myself on
YouTube, yeah. So
to infinity and beyond.
Now we technically could do a video call.
Well, it needs some work, doesn't it? There's a little bit of work to do there. Like we can't see us.
Can you see us, or do you see us on YouTube?
Well, no, we'd have to go almost back to us here and cut back and forth. But I can't.
Oh, can you?
You can see my screen, yeah.
That's an invasion of privacy, isn't it?
Don't shout to the news of the world there. Okay, well, if we can tweak this, but in theory, we could actually do this. We could actually get video calls.
Can you turn the volume up, Elisar? Because I can't hear Higlet very well.
I can't hear a word Higlet's saying.
That's better. We've got to turn our own thing.
Because we've got to watch out for
feedback. Oh, this is the problem we had. Now we've turned our thing up. We can.
We've got enabled echo cancellation.
Sorry, Piglet. We feel very rude about
Robert
this.
Mini Cucci's camera's not working. No.
He won't turn the camera on or something.
But no, our camera's not working. But I think it's because it's linked into the Wirecast for broadcasting to YouTube. It doesn't seem to want to work in Google Plus at the same time. So we might, if we had the second laptop, we could have the Google Hangout on the second laptop. Yeah.
Why don't we turn Wirecast off? Can we not turn that off?
No, but then we won't broadcast to YouTube.
Oh, right. But aren't we just testing the technology? Or
It's that Komodo dragon.
Okay, well, anyway, I think we're...
When all those voices are repeating, it sounds like we've got spirits in the room or something. It's quite freaky. It's like Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Who said they'd like to talk our ears off?
We're going to stop broadcasting.
Yeah. Piglet, if you please just hold on a second.